This is Making Moves, and we're 50,000 Rand to invest in a business. 10 entrepreneurs will come face to face with our panel of judges to pitch for this investment.
I'm not convinced on where you're wanting to spend the money.
Your business could be in line to win this grand prize and our Money in the Bank series. Your business could be operating from home, the streets, or at a fancy office, normally from a bicycle. Oksalayo, we are looking for you. Only 4 entrepreneurs will make it to the final episode to pitch for that investment. Watch Making Moves every Monday, 2 p.m. on SABC 1, Mzansi for sure.
Innocent.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous.
Nervous? What's wrong with you? Impress us. Your 4 minutes starts now.
In the short term, we plan to increase our prices from 100 Rand to 150 Rand. We will make a maximum of 150,000 Rand each and every month.
All right. What do you guys think? Martin?
I'm not convinced that the application way is the right way.
Gauteng has over 300,000 learners in high school, compared to 600,000 in primary school. This indicates a 55% dropout rate in high schools due to different factors, including a lack of academic support. Isona-ke isizathu-ke lesi senza Innocent Masutha asungulele ibhizinisi lakhe elaziwa ngokuthiwa yi-SA Know It All, an academic support system targeted at high school learners.
My name is Innocent Kangwero Masutha. I am the owner and founder of SA Know It All. SA Know It All caters for learners from grade 10 to 12 with all their subjects. What's unique about SA Know It All is that we offer educational support, free psychological support, as well as free online 24-hour services where learners can interact with teachers. You can find us on Instagram at SA_Know-It-All. You can also find us on Twitter at KnowItAllSA. Also search us on Facebook, or simply just come to Braamfontein Gate 209 Smith Street, or call us on 0618 17 0356.
Usomabhizinisi wethu sobesichitha usuku naye namhlanje igama lakhe uInnocent. uInnocent uthi-ke yena-ke usiza kama-students amaningi ngama-extra lessons ngama-weekend. Ibhizinisi lalomlisa likhona-ke lapha eBraamfontein, kwindawo-ke edume kakhulu-ke ngokuthi inezikole-ke ezahlukahlukene futhi-ke namanye ama-colleges. Namhlanje ngizochitha usuku nalomlisa, ngifuna ukwazi kabanzi ukuthi what makes his business unique, futhi nokuthi-ke yena-ke lawo ma-students lawa athi uyawasiza, uwasiza ngani, futhi-ke nokuthi maphi-ke ama-lessons abasizayo ngawo.
Hey da.
Kunjani mfethu? Yes, khona.
Mfethu,
why establish le business onalo, especially kule sector osebenzela kuyona education?
but education is like it's very important in South Africa, and we need to invest in the youth, which is why I decided SA Know It All must be one of the projects that are spearheading change in South Africa. Yes.
But for one to establish a business in any sector, they must have noticed a gap. What did you notice that was missing in the gap and that you saw when you can provide that service?
What's missing in education today is that one-on-one service. There's not enough people focusing on education. But how many clubs do you know? A lot of clubs. But there's not enough schools, there's not enough tutoring organizations. So that's why I saw that gap, that people are not taking so much time in looking at education, basically.
Take me through. Let's see what you get up to in class.
All right, ask again.
Yes, sir.
Yes. These are our grade 11s. Guys, say hi.
Hi. To set up this kind of a business, what thing are you set up and make sure that you get right?
In total, to be honest, I would roughly say about 20 to 30,000 rand to keep the project running.
Yes, sir.
Like the way it's running currently right now. But then always there are challenges, as you know. We are not really sponsored by anybody or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kamike kuphike le mali mfethu yokuqala yonke lento.
Family, and nothing. Where will I be without my mother?
Yes, sir.
Where will I be without
So
my
your family
mother?
assisted you to make sure everything is going
I
proper.
told them I had a dream.
Yes,
They
sir.
believed in the dream.
Yeah.
My mother helped me out.
Okay, before we continue, I see they're getting ready, they're doing their thing. Let me step back a bit. I'll watch while you do your thing.
Okay, guys, so let's just quickly do just a simple Newton's law example, just to see if you're all on the same page. What's 8 multiplied by 2? 16. But you didn't type on your calculators. What if the calculator, it changed last night, so you didn't know? Check your calculators. That's why they're there.
Ever since I started attending here at SA Know-It-All, I've improved. My marks are better than before.
All right, okay. So anybody that would like to ask anything?
Sometimes it'll be like difficult to now move or to stop what you love doing and then go back to studying. How can we adjust to the study timetables?
You know what's the best thing to do? It's discipline, self-discipline. Moreover, you won't be anywhere without discipline. When you get home, your study guide is your best friend. WhatsApp aside, everything aside. Okay, guys? Home safely, guys.
So, what makes AMA services that you offer unique? No
matter how many students we have, we always try and make them less so that we can have that one-on-one interaction with the teachers. Learn it's very important. As well, they have 24-hour, 7-day-a-week service on WhatsApp, in which teachers are there all the time, ready to answer learners' questions. When they're studying at home, they just probably take a picture of a problem that they have, then they send it to the teacher. The teacher helps them out on WhatsApp. This is also new. I have no one else does this.
So, Mtaba, I'm a student in Wabonayo or I'm a student in our database. Manga in total,
we have 512 this year.
512 this year?
Yes.
So 500 students, and how many people work with you in total to help you?
We actually have 10 people that I work with. Out of the 10, it's 8 teachers and the 2 support staff.
My role at SA Know-It-All is to be a tutor, and I'm teaching mathematics literacy. The thing with students is that they have different abilities. So in classes, you realize that they are slow, and there are kids that catch on fast. So that's one of the challenges that as tutors we face.
Every teacher teaches a maximum of 2 subjects.
Okay.
So they can take all the grades, but different subjects at the same time.
No, Fitai. Thank you very much for having us here and to spend the time with you.
Yes,
to see what you get up to.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
Yes,
Very
sir.
well,
thank you.
Sure.
Walk me out.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so are you running an NPO or a business? Because it's a social enterprise. I don't think you're running a business. I think you're running a non-profit.
No, it is a business.
You're not making money.
The ideas.
You're not making money.
Yes,
You're not. You're not covering all your costs. You're taking money out of your pocket to subsidize this thing every month. Am I lying?
Innocent yena wakhuliswa ngugogo wakhe emaphandleni aSevenda eRally Pass. Uma ka-Innocent wayesebenza efactory encane lapha eGoli ukuze ezokwazi ukuthi anakekele izidingo zabo. Namhlanje lo mlisa lona uxoxisana nathi ngemvelaphi yakhe aphinde futhi asitshele ukuthi kunjani ukukhuliswa ngugogo wakhe.
Mkhono wa ya ba dula mojetse ra ya ona bothata ngwana ka ona taba se wena o le mong o botseng o sena ntate ke bana ba bangata ba botseng ba sena bontate mara go re bophilong o tsebe o ro batla eng.
Very, very, very painful. Waruwa musus na koti. Gauri, auna that fatherly love, that fatherly motivation that you see other kids having. I never had that till to this day. Mara, I will never dwell on the negatives of my life. I'll never dwell on people that are not in my life, whether it's by choice or not. I'll always appreciate what I have. And what I've always had is a loving family.
O hotse a hlokomelwa ke mme wa ka hae ke staying nna ne le ngwana le hore ke ngwana o mamelang rata bolo le sekolong a rata go ba ngwana o reng a kenelle a ra dintho tse ding tse di etswang sekolong.
Zwa shikonda ngori tshede ba isiyo roba ri tshi gorela mara roba ri sa focus ko so gara ri ya so gora roba ri tshi khoseza khori mini machelo if rajena tshikolo we can end up somewhere positive, which is basically the mentality ra rwiswa ngayo.
Pelo ine ntse mhopola hore ngwanaka o kana go e utla bo wetsala eng ho bona ba bang bana le bana ba bona le wena o dumo ka re le wena nkebe e le hore o phela bophelo bo mara ka lebaka la seemo no sa dumele le tlamelo re ke etse hore ke be reke hore ke khone hore ke ba fesa hore ba khone ho ja kwa hae.
Makranga wang arusori ndibe ngwana wa onona abana thonipho like respect and ngwana ane adifuna, you know, self love, and ngwana ane ufuna chikolo, and till today dichena those characteristics that I was made to grow up with by my grandmother.
Nala innocent rehlakane ko UJ during my second year, and then from there raba close as friends, and then renter to Shana to study, and yeah, he takes a lot of things seriously, especially Merokwa High.
Mutane, to be honest, I'm not the most hardworking people you'll ever see in the world, but I believe in working smart, you know. I'm very self-driven and very positive, the most positive person you'll ever meet.
Ino khale a rata go ruta bana khale le sekolong a sa le sekolong a bana lo tsamaya a re he ke o ruta bo mang nako nngwe ke be ke motsise ke re ko sekolong ha ba ruti na ile gore wena tla ba o nnetse go ruta bana ba mara ke bona reng wa rata gore ngwana o mong le ena a tswelle pele.
You know, when you grow up in a small rural community, making a difference is important. Like, you know, my grandmother would be that lady. If there's a funeral, she'll be cooking in this funeral. If there's something happening, she'll just be helping out other households. Even if she had nothing, she would be helping other people out. So that told me a lot. Like, that was like a life lesson for me. Wow. Even if you don't have something, doesn't mean you can't give anything.
He's very helpful, and he explained us something until we understand. He has the patience, that's why another degree I fit to go UJ.
I was one of the few people that did well in English as a home language. So I used to teach literally my class. So that's where I think it started, because I was so good at that. Now, Musi, even after I did engineering, I realized I'm not happy. I love education, and I love to educate other people. I love to have other people elevate.
Innocent began his organization helping school children with extra lessons in Katlehong township. Once he started making money, he brought in university students to help in facilitating the classes. He says he helps over 100 students a month, but his finances paint a different picture.
We're here today at the Making Move studio. I'm going to meet with Pepsi. We're going to talk about my business. I'm feeling very excited and anxious at the same time, but I know it's going to be a great learning experience, and I hope it's going to teach me a lot.
SA Know-It-All was started in response to the growing need for advanced teaching and extra lessons in South Africa, especially in disadvantaged schools. Innocent has many ideas on how to grow his organization, but like most small businesses, he still struggles with operational issues and cash flow. Innocent, welcome to Making Moves.
Thank you. How are you, sir? I'm okay, thank you.
Nice one. Take a seat.
Thank you so much.
So you're a teacher?
Yes, I'm a teacher.
So now it's a bit of a challenge. You are a teacher doing your practicals, I get?
Yes.
You are a student in your final year.
Yes.
Doing your degree in education, I get?
Yes.
And you're also running SA Know-It-All.
Yes.
How are you balancing all of these things?
It's very difficult, I must say, to be honest. But then I mostly work on my schoolwork at home, so I just don't have a social life, that's all. And then when I go to work to teach, it's my passion, so I look forward to doing that all the time. SA Know-It-All, it's better because it mostly runs on weekends, actual classes, and then during the week it's usually just online sessions where we just interact with students via Facebook and WhatsApp. So that I can still do at home. Plus I have a great team that I work with. There's different WhatsApp groups, so it's a physical science group. So if a learner has a problem with physical science, I'll be the one taking care of it. If it's another subject, perhaps maybe like business, there will be someone else, that's another teacher that teaches business, that's where it works at SA Know-It-All.
I haven't paid anything. I'm just a learner from somewhere. Can I join the WhatsApp group? Can I go on Facebook and ask questions?
Yes, of course. Everyone is welcome.
Okay, so you're offering the service for free?
Yeah, the online conversations, we do essentially offer them to everyone that needs help. But then, however, the actual classes and the learning materials that we only provide to SA Know-It-All learners.
There are lots of places that offer extra lessons, Lady Weekend Workshop and those kinds of things. What makes you different?
Yes, there may be a lot, but they're not enough. Because if you look at the educational system and the status of education currently, it's declining, not getting any better. Another thing is that most of these tutoring companies don't actually tackle every subject. They have specific subjects. We do every single subject. Also, we provide free learning material, free study guides. And the rate that we charge our services for is the cheapest in South Africa. It's 100 Rand a month for all of this.
What percentage is paying and what percentage is saying, listen, we can't afford it?
I would say essentially 25 to 30% actually are constant payers. Every single month the parents pay. We've had a lot of problems with parents who unfortunately do not feel the need to invest in their children's education.
Okay, so are you running an NPO or a business? Because it's a social enterprise. I don't think you're running a business. I think you're running a non-profit.
No, it is a business.
You're not making money.
The ideas...
You're not making money.
Yes, that's...
You're not. You're not covering all your costs. You're taking money out of your pocket to subsidize this thing every month. Am I lying?
I wouldn't essentially say you're lying.
I'm either lying or telling the truth.
I would agree with you 90% because essentially...
Like, are you taking money out of your pocket occasionally, every so often, to pay for things in this business, to cover the cost to run this thing?
Yes.
Okay. So a social worker running an NPO that's disguised as a business.
No, I wouldn't say that. You have to understand something, Pepsi, that when you have a dream, unfortunately, you have to fight.
Fighting for your dream isn't just getting up every day and working hard. It's also making hard decisions.
True.
Where you have to say, okay, I want this, but I'm going to have to do this.
Yes.
I'm going to have to make the hard decisions. I'm going to have difficult conversations with parents. I'm going to have to turn children away, because if I don't turn those children away, this dream is going to die. That's exactly what's going to happen if you don't start making the difficult decisions. Or turn it into a non-profit. Why don't you turn it into a non-profit? Then you can raise funding from companies and do CSI and whatnot.
Well, the idea of turning into a non-profit actually has crossed my mind before. But however, I realized that in the past 2 to 3 years, I've been trying to acquire sponsorship from you name it. And everybody seems to not want to invest in education.
Let's talk about the success rate of your program. Is it working, and what are the stats that prove that it's working?
Grade 12 last year, we had a total of 380 grade 12s last year. Out of the 380, 300 of them passed with bachelor's degree. And actually out of the 300, 250 got distinctions in their respective subjects.
It's cool to say that, but how do you compare it with their numbers before they came to you? So you can at least show progress.
Yes, I can, because when they come, students, when they come to us because they have a problem. And for us to manage to get 300 bachelor's degrees is incredible, especially because of the type of schools these kids are coming from.
So do you have a board of directors? Do you have advisors? Do you have other people other than young teachers trying to make this thing work?
Yes. Unfortunately, I have 3 people that have been mentoring me and supporting me through this journey of SA Know-It-All.
Okay, so you're going to go for a coaching session. My advice, my feedback is you've got 2 or 3 critical challenges, simple things to fix, right? The first thing is, what you're doing is not really unique. However, you are talking to the black community, and a lot of these programs are talking to middle class and upper middle class kids who can afford to pay a few R100, a few R1,000 a month. I think your admin sucks, and one of the things that you should be able to produce quite easily is graphs and statements showing, you know, how effective your program is and data. And you can talk about it anecdotally, but you can't produce anything necessarily. And then the third that you've got too many students that don't pay. And just collecting the money would solve, a good 50% of your problems, and you'd have something that could grow. So you're going to go sit with a mentor, talk, and one of our coaches in-house is going to try and give you some advice, and let's see where that takes you.
Yes.
And I wish you the best of luck.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you so much for the advice.
All right, boy. SA Know-It-All is a fantastic organization that was started with the best of intentions, and it addresses a very serious problem in South Africa. But if Innocent wants to make it sustainable and wants to make sure that the organization is still around in 10 years' time, he's got a lot of work to do dealing with his administrative and financial challenges. I'm hoping that this coaching session helps him do just that.
My studio session with Pepsi was very tough and very productive. He was very insightful in terms of the weaknesses within SA Know-It-All, and he was also very helpful in terms of how to solve those weaknesses. Basically, it's the time of being Mr. Nice Guy basically is over, and it's time to be Mr. Business Guy.
SA Know-It-All is making necessary contribution to society. However, their business model does not seem to be sustainable unless they find another revenue stream. Akesithembe ukuthi coaching session izomsiza uInnocent ukuze bakwazi ukuhamba indlela enhle.
Innocent, you started SA Know-It-All out of a need from your community. If you had to put it in one sentence, what's the ultimate goal for SA Know-It-All?
I would like it to not just be a tutoring program. This is just the starting point. The end goal is for it to be a school that will branch into the nation and make that educational difference, produce scientists, produce lawyers.
When you start an enterprise out of a social need, so it's those heartstrings get pulled, and you're doing this to help people. So now coming into the business component of it, for it to be a business, it needs to be sustainable. And currently it's not sustainable on its own.
Yes.
So would you say you are more on the pathway towards an NPO, a business? What's your thinking around that particular thing? Because it is important on how you move forward after this conversation.
Well, essentially, for me, I would like to see it as a business. But however, the way it's turning out, it's turning out to be more of an MPO. However, there is nothing wrong with an MPO.
Yeah.
But in terms of making it into a successful business,
Yes.
there is something wrong with it being an NPO.
Yes.
So I think the best way to move forward from now on is to incorporate it to be a company that has both aspects.
For him to move away from this NPO structure, which is not really an NPO but acts like one, he needs to be tough enough. He needs to really put his foot down and say, this is to make profit, this is to sustain the business, and if individuals that we are targeting are unable to pay, let's find individuals who are able to pay. I want us to focus on a few traits that really are essential for you to make that transition from someone who's doing something out of the goodness of their heart to someone who cares about the bottom line. And I think that's where there's a disconnect for me, where I see you, because the heart is so strong, you're unable to make certain decisions that are good for the business. So you need to truly sit and analyze yourself. Am I a person who is able to make tough decisions? Because when you look at it on the bigger scheme of things, this kind of decision where someone is not paying should not be a difficult decision. You're not paying, therefore you're unable to get the service. But for you, it is a difficult decision, which then points to a character trait in you that you need to look at to say, is this trait in a way an inhibitor in terms of me going into this thing as a business? You need to demonstrate certain traits for you to be successful as a business person.
Yes, it's about social transformation, but it's also about the business. So I need to find a way, and I need to practice ways in which I can incorporate both the business and socially. So hard foot, iron fist ruling from here onwards.
Whether at the end of the day you decide that this is a business or an NPO, record keeping is important. More so, not just the admin record keeping, but the impact record keeping of your program. Because you mentioned earlier that when you go out to ask for funding, it's not received positively. And that could be signaling one of two things. One, your value proposition is not strong enough. As we mentioned, there are a lot of guys out there who are doing what you're doing. So that your uniqueness is not jumping out strong enough. That's number one. Or two, you're unable to demonstrate the return on investment for a potential investor. So those are essential for yourself going forward as a business or the NPO. You need to keep record of that. And one needs to be able to see, be it a graph or whatever it is, where you're saying, this batch of students came in, this is where they were. Through our intervention, they're now here. We just need this much to accelerate them to that point. Because at the end of the day, the numbers count and we need to see impact. And business is about impact, especially your kind of business. So I would say that's something that you need to be focusing on very strongly. Another point that I want you to really think about is, you mentioned you have mentors. Currently, it sounds like it's just ad hoc. You know, you have those conversations, but it's not structured. So you will need to put in place structured mentorship relationships, whether it's with the 3 individuals you've mentioned, but one thing that's glaringly missing is you don't have a business mentor. So you need someone who has the business acumen, someone who's made it in your space in terms of business, to be able to get that wisdom from them. And I think that's something that will help you. And thinking about tomorrow, you know you have the pitch. If you get the 50,000, what are you thinking of using it for?
Well, already there's 2 things that I would invest it on. Because already I am saving money for the what I call the building fund, in which in the next 3 to 5 years, I'm hoping that we'll be able to buy or rent out a building, in which we're going to now start to open the school. And we also have the app fund. I might have not actually discussed this earlier on, but then we're working on an app called the Know It All app. I know my app is the game changer. It's the one thing that's going to change the financial outlook of SA Know It All. It's the one thing that's going to ensure the success of SA Know It All.
Most importantly then, when you come tomorrow then for that pitch, you need to demonstrate what it is that makes this app revolutionary, you know, or this building that you want to be investing in, why it's important in moving you a step forward, because that's what we're looking for. You're looking for progress. And if you can demonstrate that and your uniqueness, then I think you should be good. So all the best to you.
No, thank you very much. My coaching session with Asanda was very, very productive. We took a look at the challenges within the business that's preventing the business from moving forward, and we found several solutions. And I feel that I'm very satisfied, to be honest. I feel that I've learned a lot, and I'll incorporate the knowledge that I've learned into the business and grow it from here onwards.
In the short term, we plan to increase our prices from 100 Rand to 150 Rand. If we reach our target of 1,000 learners in the first term, we will make a maximum of 150,000 Rand each and every month.
All right, what do you guys think? Martin?
I'm not convinced that the application way is the right way.
Listen, welcome, Puti.
Hey, thank you. How are you?
I'm writing Taba.
Right.
Putuami, it's time for you to pitch. What did you take out from chat yako obenani coach no Pepsi that you're going to incorporate with pitch yako today?
Basically, yesterday I learned a lot in terms of the challenges that are involved within SA Know It All. In terms of planning, in terms of financials. Today, in terms of the pitch, I'll be elaborating a lot on the future as well of SA Know It All, which yesterday I felt like I didn't touch a lot on. And also other key factors that are very important towards the operations and the future of SA Know It All are going to be highlighted today, including the SA Know It All app.
Yeah. Okay, Vote. Are you ready? How are you feeling?
I feel good. I just hope it goes well, and I'm just going to do my best, and hopefully everything goes well.
Yo, baba. Yo. Ake, Vote. Baglindile ngaphakathi ama-churches wethu shona khona.
Ngiyabonga.
All the best, ne?
Thank you.
Wala.
Innocent.
Yes, sir.
How are you feeling?
A bit nervous.
Nervous? What's wrong with you?
No, it's just 5 second glitches.
Just like, take a deep breath, relax, whatever. And you've got 4 minutes to pitch your business to us. Impress us. Your 4 minutes starts now.
SA Know It All is an educational program that caters for learners in grade 10 to 12 with all their subjects. Now, what is SA Know It All about? SA Know It All is about social transformation in terms of eradicating unemployment as well as improving the standard of education in South Africa. You might be asking yourself, how does SA Know It All do this? SA Know It All do this in terms of education. We provide lessons, free learning material, free psychological help, and free career guidance, as well as free assistance in university and bursary applications. Now, in terms of eradicating unemployment, we employ 2nd to 4th year learners at university level, as well as recently graduated learners in various fields, including education, as well as engineering. SA Know It All works. How does it work? Where are the stats to prove it? On the graph, we can see that in 2016, SA Know It All had 380 learners enrolled, matric. Out of those 300, 73% passed with bachelor's degrees, and only 16% passed with a diploma, and just 11% passed with higher certificate. It's good to note that out of the 73%, 150 distinctions were produced in subjects such as maths and science. Now, what is the future of SA Know It All? Our short-term goals are as follows. We plan to expand. How? We're going to expand through improving our marketing in terms of getting an audience on social media. Estimations and calculation prove that we need about 200
2,150 rands in order to do this for the entire year in 2018. We're also going to do what we call campaigning, which involves visiting various schools in townships in South Africa around Gauteng. While visiting those schools, we'll be establishing relationships with not only the teachers as well as acquiring new learners. Our target for the first term is 1,000 learners, which is possible because currently we have 512. Now, part of our short-term goals is the Know-It-All app. This will be a revolutionary, one-of-a-kind app that will be hitting SA first. Now, this app will allow interaction between learners and teachers and will contain a lot of amazing and wonderful educational features. Now, the cost of the app will be estimated at 50,000 Rand, and we plan to use 25,000 Rand of the money that we're gonna win here, as well as 25,000 Rand from our savings. Also, we plan to seek funding from the DTI. Now, our long-term goals are, we plan to create SA Know-It-All, the FET school, within the next 5 years. Now, this school will only cater for grade 10s to 11 and will grow as time goes on. Now, here's a short summary of our financials and a breakdown on how we're going to use that 50,000 Rand should we win here at Making Moves. Now, a key factor I would like to touch at is that we are going to use the winnings not only to improve marketing, but also to buy learning materials worth 10,000 Rand. Now, in 2018, in the short term, we plan to increase our prices from 100 Rand to 150 Rand. If we reach our target of 1,000 learners in the first term, we will make a maximum of 150,000 Rand each and every month. Now, let's take a look at this picture. Right here, this is the future of SA. These are the people that we need to invest our time, effort, and
all right,
money
man,
on.
your time is up. Thank you very much for a spirited pitch.
Thank you.
We're going to jump straight into a question and answer. Let's assume you get 1,000 people coming through at $150 a month. Cool, but if only 30% of them are paying, you still have the same problem.
Yes, that's assuming that we continue to tolerate this problem. But I can proudly say that as from today onwards, that problem will be eradicated through getting rid of all the learners that are not paying. We're only going to accommodate paying learners, and we're going to have a system in which when you enter our facilities, you'll be providing us with receipts to show that you have paid.
You speak about increasing the price per month per learner from 100 Rand to 150.
Yes.
And you haven't clearly pinpointed the main reason why the ones that are currently in your books are not paying at 100 Rand. So what has informed that price increase, and what makes you think that from the same group of clients, potential clients, that they'd be willing to pay a higher price this time around?
Initially, we have pinpointed two major problems to why the learners were not paying. And one of those problems was seriousness. We plan to eradicate that problem by having much strict enrollment rules, if I could put it like that. Okay. Secondly, a problem with paying is that some learners cannot afford to pay. So we have decided that when we increase the prices, we will allow a minimum of 10% of what we call subsidized learners, in which we are going to have them prove that perhaps they don't have income in their family, perhaps they're receiving social grant, or they have unemployed parents, or have parents not at all. So they'll prove this via an affidavit.
Is there a contract between yourself and it can't be the learner, the parent?
The parent.
Yeah. Is there a formal contract in place?
Yes. Yes, we have. We've been learning from our mistakes. We had no contract, which was the reason for majority of our problems in terms of 70% of our learners not paying. We decided that all learners are required to have contracts and are obligated to make payments. Should they fail, we do intend to take legal action because it feel like it's within our rights, because they have signed a contract that they will be able to pay, and surely they will be paid.
Thank you, sir. Give us a few minutes to talk about you and then call you back.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
I think my pitch went very well. I think I could have used maybe a few seconds to finish off, but then all in all, I said what was important and what I needed the judges to hear.
All right, what do you guys think? Martine?
Yeah, you know, the business is not unique. There's quite a few of these popping up, etc. I'm not convinced that the application way is the right way.
Are you happy with the way you pitched?
Yeah, I'm happy. An 8 out of 10. I think I would give myself an 8 out of 10. Yeah, so I'm happy.
I don't know, I wouldn't spend that amount of money on an application when what he's currently doing is working for him. I mean, if he's got 25,000 Rand in savings, it means that whatever he's doing currently, he can scale that and still make money.
I agree with Martine. I think there isn't enough research on the app and its visibility for it to justify that much spend. So I think a bit of money could be spent in researching if people would be willing to pay. You know, there's so many apps, and I mean, I know everyone is going crazy about apps, and that's because they do work, but I do think that in this particular instance, he really needs to understand his market very well, taking into account that non-payment is an issue. So adding a different component then of the app and expecting people to pay is a bit dicey on my end. But there is potential for what he's doing. I mean, we all know there's a need.
I think he'd be much better off having group sessions at schools and saying between this time and this time, we will be here, you know, like a master math type of thing for now. We'll be here, your child will be allowed into the class on payment of, have a cash receipt book, receive the payment, you know, because then if the child doesn't pay, he doesn't get allowed into the tutor session.
Okay. I think he's complicated the thing.
Judges also brought it up lapha nalapha. Then the student angakhokhi.
I was hoping they wouldn't bring it up. I thought that we were gonna focus on the key positives. But then I did try to when they did bring it up, I did mention a plan that is already in implementation that's going to eradicate that problem.
He wants to market and reach 1,000 students, and I'm like, that's fine, but the ones that you have now are not paying. And it's not like you're reaching students with a different set of circumstances. You're going for students from the same community. So I don't know. I'm not sure that it's actually entirely viable, but he's got just the core of the business. Okay, let's call him back in.
Okay, Putom, let's find out ukuthi umphumela uthini. All the best, Nemtaba.
Ngiyabonga.
Thank you very much. Ungashona khona.
Hola.
How do you think you did?
I think
Scale of 1 to 10.
8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay. I think you are somewhere around an 8. Very, very passionate presentation, and we really enjoyed it. And we agree with you. Education is incredibly important, and the work that you're doing is phenomenal. So well done. Congratulations.
Thank you, judges. Thank you.
Innocent, thanks for that presentation. I think there's a few gaps that we've identified, and there's one in particular that I'd really like you to zone into. So there's 2 legs to your business. So you've got that business component part, and as well as that NPO we had spoken about, so that CSI element. I'd like you to go out and actually speak to people who fund your kind of initiative and understand what it takes to be funded. So do your research, find out what kind of ROI information they're looking for, so that you can best prepare yourself for that component when the time does come.
That you are using, you know, social media platforms. The social media platforms are extremely powerful, okay? And if it's working for you, I want you to go and find better ways of using that and maximizing that to the full.
So there are a few things that we'd like you to do, and they've been touched on now. The first one is quickly, in the next 2 weeks, find a few people whose opinions you respect, who are different to you, perhaps older than you, different types of skills. Get them in a room for a few hours, show them what you've been doing, and then build a plan from there. In those, you should have an accountant, you should have people that work in the sector and have been able to get funding for their NPOs or Section 21 companies or whatever. Out of that session, you're going to come out with a valuable plan that addresses the different areas of your business. One of your problems right now is that your advisors are also in education, largely. So you all think the same way. The second thing is go and see 4 or 5 schools that are central in areas, identify them, do a deal with them to say, okay, Mamela, I will be here with my team every Friday, and we're going to market in the area to parents and schools, other schools in the area. Will you be our host? And then you know that in that one school, maybe there are 6 or 7 other schools in the area within a few kilometers. That becomes your host. You're there once a week. Done deal. Students come from all over the place. They come to you. Forget this thing of charging once a month. At the door when you arrive. They want tutoring, they must come to you in Braamfontein. And you can hold tutoring sessions there, and you can charge a premium because, you know, if your parents can afford tutoring, they must pay for it. And then the last thing is you need to put together a better sponsorship proposal. You might need to consider, you know, opening a Section 21 company so people can earn enterprise development and CSI points. But you'll get money with a better proposal and a better structure. Okay.
Innocent, again, your business is touching a critical point within our country. The decision that we've made is not because we don't believe in what you're doing, it's just we don't think that you've done enough within the business at this point for us to put you through to the next round. So unfortunately, you're not going forward with us, but follow the advice that we've given you, and I can assure you that you wouldn't even need the 50,000.
Thank you very much to the judges. I will certainly take advice. This is part of the reason why I was here, to learn. Thank you.
All right, boy. Thank you so much, Ne.
Thank you.
Sure.
My overall experience in making moves is very productive. Basically, I've learned that you need to rule with an iron fist, Game of Thrones vibes. So I feel that I'm gonna do that more effectively right now, because I wasn't very business-minded, like the judges said. I'm very more on the academic side, my passion. So I need now to switch on and put on the business cap.
If you are an entrepreneur and would like to be featured on the show, contact us on makingmoves@sabc.co.za or visit our website